Ooh. All right. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Sideline. My name is Rishi Oza. And boy, I mean, I haven't done one in a while with spring break happening. Just didn't really have time to get one in, but we're gonna get one going today. Nuggets just lost to the Raptors, their fourth straight loss, all winnable games, all against teams they're better than, and they haven't looked like they belonged in any of them. And that is a huge problem. So let's talk about it. NFL free agency is also going on at the moment. So I think next time we talk about it, once everything, the dust starts to settle, Asher gets on and we'll be able to talk about it. But as of right now, let's just talk about the Nuggets. Give me just a second. Hold on. 1 minute. We'll talk about the Nuggets. Because this is really bad. This is very bad. Like this is borderline like worst team in the league type of performances coming from Denver right now. Okay. So let's get into it. First game against the Bulls, I went to on the Wednesday on what was it, the 8th? Yeah, the 8th. I went to that game and it just looked it didn't look like the Nuggets. It just did not look like the Nuggets. Nothing was going right. Nothing was happening. Nothing was going on. Jokic took like 10 threes. Jamal Murray was really bad and inefficient. Michael Porter Jr. was missing every shot he took. Aaron Gordon had a stretch where he just didn't pass for like 5 minutes, and the bench was horrendous. And I took that game and was like, all right, whatever, it's fine. Then they play the Spurs in their next game, and I'm thinking, okay, that's a get right game for them. It was not a get right game. Spurs are the worst offense in the NBA, and the Nuggets let him score 130 points and really had no effort defensively. And it was bad. It was really bad. And once again, Jamal Murray played really bad. He played really poorly. Michael Porter Jr. got ejected in that game. Jokic played good, and that was the first loss Denver had when Jokic had a triple-double. I wasn't able to watch the game on Sunday, but I was able to watch the fourth quarter pretty much. But from what I was seeing, Denver's defense, once again, horrendous. Didn't stop a dang thing. And Jokic had a 30-20-10 game, and they lose. So second game in a row that they lose when Jokic has a triple-double. And so I'm just thinking, okay, it's a 3-game losing streak. It's a slump. It's a bad time to have it, but it's a slump. Now this game makes me think that something's actually wrong because they got absolutely killed from the beginning of this game. They were down 26 in the first half at one point. Third quarter, they make a run. They get to within 3 in the fourth, and then everything falls apart in the fourth quarter. And so we got to talk about. I'm obviously defense is the reason why. A lot of it's just defensive effort. I thought Denver's defensive effort in this game was really good. I thought Toronto honestly just made a lot of tough shots, especially in the second half. Fred VanVleet carried them through this game. He made a few shots in this game. We're just like, okay, I mean, if those are going in, it's just you can't do anything about it. However, they also just didn't play well. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope did not play well defensively. Michael Porter Jr. had a couple of good stretches. He did not play well defensively. Jamal Murray played horrendous defensively. Michael Malone finally switched up the bench unit, but it still wasn't the correct lineup, and they didn't play good defensively. Just really poor stuff all around from everybody on the court. And I want to start with Michael Malone. I want to start with Michael Malone because this is the 5th straight game that he's gotten out coached. The last game Denver won was against Toronto last Monday on the 6th of March. That was the last game Denver won. And I don't think Michael Malone coached that game particularly well either because Toronto is a bad matchup for Denver. They were a bad matchup last year. They're a bad matchup this year. they have exactly what Denver struggles with, and that's length. Denver really, really struggles with length, specifically Jamal Murray. He and Jokic. They both really struggle when they play against length. And Toronto, the only guy on their team who does not have length is Fred VanVleet. And it works perfectly because everyone else has the length to work with it. And VanVleet is actually a good defender as well. So it doesn't really matter. Denver got screwed in that first game because they really sucked offensive rebounding. They couldn't do anything. Jokic turned the ball over a ton. He had a triple-double, but he turned the ball over a ton. He wasn't, making the right plays. Jamal Murray had a good game, but it just felt Denver was riding on a hot streak. They had just come off some big wins against the Clippers, big wins against Memphis. Like, they were coming off some good games, and they were rolling. And I think that was just a momentum win. But I don't think Malone coached that game very well. What Toronto does so good is that they will force someone else to beat you. They will not let their best player beat you. And Nick Nurse will double on the catch, double on the entry, front Jokic as much as possible, force somebody else to make a play with the ball in their hands. And Denver could not do anything today. No one outside of Jokic could do anything. Michael Porter Jr. had a good game, but he cooled off in the fourth quarter because, once again, Michael Malone took way too long to get him back in the game. Malone made zero adjustments. There were no plays in there to get Jokic open, to force somebody in open looks. They ran the exact same offense. They ran the exact same defense. They didn't make any adjustments rebounding. And Denver got killed on the offensive glass. They got killed in the paint. They got killed from the three-point line. And this losing streak, to me, is on Michael Malone. This is horrendous. The rotations that he has put out there over the past few games are unbelievable. Christian Braun has proven to be a winning player. I don't think he didn't have a great game today, but once again, I don't think he was put in great positions. Toronto is a tough matchup, and there weren't really anybody on the court that he could have matched up with. He got put on VanVleet, and VanVleet cooked him, so they couldn't take him off and put him on anybody else. There were no other two guard out there on the court. So Malone, the rotations that he made, to me, what the Nuggets bench should be. It's pretty simple. To me, the Nuggets bench, they need to run 5-man bench. Jamal Murray is getting run into the ground with these minutes, and it's very apparent over the 4-game losing streak. He hasn't had any lift on his shot over the past 4 games. He has been playing poorly defensively. He's taking plays off. He's pressing too much. He's trying to do too much, and it's because of his legs. He just doesn't have his legs on anything, which is fine. Take some breaks off. Go into the playoffs with momentum, but just take a few games off. On a 5-game road trip, take the rest of the road trip off. I'm being dead serious. Next, what the bench rotation needs to be. To me, it has to be a 5-man bench, and it has to be Reggie Jackson, Christian Braun, Bruce Brown, Vlatko Cancar, and Thomas Bryant. That should be the bench unit. You have enough defense, you have enough rebounding, you have enough shooting, and you're allowing Reggie Jackson to play his role as the main creator. That's how you do it. That is how that bench unit should be. Reggie Jackson, when he has been the main creator and when he's gone downhill and looked to score and looked to create for himself, he's been fine. You put him out there with Jamal Murray. He wants to get Jamal Murray going. Jamal Murray wants to get him going. It's the exact same dynamic that there was with Bones Hyland and Jamal Murray. And that did not work. It's the reason you traded him. It didn't work. So why are you trying to do the exact same thing? Reggie Jackson is a very similar player to Bones Hyland. He's going to take a lot of tough shots. Some games he's going to make them. Some games he's going to miss them. But he's a little more consistent. He's more of a floor general. And he's not the worst defender in the NBA. But if Jamal Murray and Bones Hyland isn't going to work, why the hell are you trying to make Reggie Jackson and Jamal Murray work? Make it make sense. So to me, if Jamal Murray is going to commit to playing off ball, he's going to commit to playing off ball, and he's going to commit to playing as a secondary creator and a primary scorer, do it. Then it will work. When Jamal Murray was last healthy in the 2020 bubble, the reason why him staggering with the bench worked so much is because he would play alongside Monte Morris. Monte Morris is a pure point guard. His job is to get Jamal Murray the ball, let him score, get the offense into advantageous positions. Reggie Jackson isn't that. He's not a pure point guard. He's a combo guard. He's more of a shooting guard. Same with Jamal Murray. So one of them has to commit to being a point guard. One of them has to do that. And neither of them have done that. So playing them together just doesn't make any sense. And if you're going to play Jamal fully with the bench unit, with no Reggie Jackson like it was tonight, I don't agree with that because that's just too many minutes. He's coming off of an ACL injury, and he's been hurt. He had an injury management. He was questionable up until about half hour before tip today. Like, you have to be smarter about his minutes and be smarter about those rotations. Christian Braun's been out of the rotation for a while. He's been back in it for the last couple of games. For what reason he was out of the rotation, I don't know, because he proved to be a winning player. I know Michael Malone doesn't want to go to the 5-man bench lineup after what happened last season, but you're forced to. Christian Braun is too good to not play a 5-man bench. He's too good to not play him. The only way that's going to work is playing a 5-man bench. Reggie Jackson came to Denver because you made a promise to him to play. Fine, play him. Bruce Brown, you're not going to take him out of the rotation. Play him. If you're going to take somebody out of the rotation, it's going to be Thomas Bryant or Vlatko Čančar or Jeff Green or somebody. So you can take them out, but then you're playing a 4-man lineup, which has never worked. So the solution, very simple. Play 5-man bench. Reggie Jackson, Christian Braun, Bruce Brown, Vlatko, and Thomas Bryant. That is your bench. And Michael Malone has tiptoed around that bench for so long. And I don't understand why. I really don't understand why. I understand he likes to play vets, but play the guys who are good. Play the guys who are better. A small step in the right direction today, cutting Reggie Jackson out of the rotation in favor of Christian Braun. But I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And there were no adjustments to be that they made in terms of trying to get Jokic the ball, in terms of trying to create advantageous plays, maybe using Jokic as a decoy because they were so focused on him to make other players open. That was the same offense. The offense is good. It's a historically good offense, but it didn't work against Toronto last time. Why do you think it's going to work this time? It didn't work last year against Toronto. Why is it going to work this time? So he has just gotten completely outcoached and outclassed, and Denver is in serious trouble because, and I remember I said a couple of weeks ago when this bench lineup was first starting to come to fruition, I said that Denver has about a couple of weeks. They have a couple of weeks to get this ship righted with the bench. And until then, I'll be concerned. I'm officially concerned. This was the stretch that they were supposed to get it done. Raptors, Bulls, Spurs, Nets, Raptors. Raptors, Bulls, Spurs, Nets, Raptors, Pistons. That is the stretch that Denver had to be good with. That was the stretch that the bench had to be good. And Michael Malone has just screwed around with the entire bench, and it's not good. It's horrendous right now. And there's no effort being given by the starters. There's no effort being given by the bench. You get a few fake comebacks, a few stretches of good play here and there. The Spurs game had a couple of good stretches. You had a couple of times when they pushed the fourth quarter the other night against Brooklyn, the third quarter tonight against Toronto, but they have not been able to sustain a full 48 minutes since that game against Memphis almost 2 full weeks ago. That's bad. That's really, really, really bad. And Denver cannot let this ground go. They I understand if they were having the slump against good teams. It would make sense if they had this slump against good teams because they're good teams. And Denver, they still have questions around them in terms of, are they a true contender or not? I understand. I completely understand. However, this is not that. This is not that. They are playing against bad teams or slightly above average teams, and they're getting run. They don't look like they belong against these teams, offensively or defensively. That is really, really, really concerning. That's very, very concerning. And they have a stretch of games coming up. Knicks, Nets, Wizards, Bucks, 76ers, Pelicans, Suns. If they're playing like this against the Spurs and the Raptors, oh my God, Apple Music, stop. Please, Jesus Christ. If they're playing like this against the Raptors and the Bulls and the Spurs, they're screwed against those other teams. They are screwed against those other teams. They are absolute, their point differential might go into the 90s. They might have a negative 90 point differential. They've been that bad. They have been absolutely horrendous. Denver's defense is an embarrassment to the sport of basketball. Yeah, I agree. I agree. This is one of the worst efforts I've seen defensively in a long time from anybody. Not even I genuinely would have I don't think they beat the Rockets right now. I'm gonna put that out there. I don't think they would beat the Rockets. With the way they're playing, they wouldn't beat the Rockets. They wouldn't beat the Pistons. They're not beating. They lost to the Spurs. They're not beating the Spurs. Those are the three teams that are in the top three for the Wembanyama sweepstakes. They're not beating anybody. They have been so unbelievably horrendous, and they do not have a lot of time to figure it out. As a contender, you have expectations to win every single game. Like any loss is a bad loss. As a contender, as the 1 seed, any loss is a bad loss. The way they have 4 bad losses in a row. And even if you're an average team, these are 4 bad losses. As the 1 seed, the team with the potential 3-time MVP, the team that has championship aspirations, these are horrendous losses. And rightfully, they're getting flamed on the internet. They're getting flamed everywhere for it because this is embarrassing from them. Absolutely embarrassing. Like they need to get better. And I mean, Jokic has taken it upon himself for the last couple of games to start taking over as a scorer. You know, he had like 37, 11, 11 against the Spurs. He had 35, 20, and 10 against the Nets. Today, they just didn't let him get the ball, so he wasn't a scorer, but he still had a good, efficient night. No one else's game come with him. Jamal Murray, it starts with him. When Jamal Murray plays good, when Jamal Murray and Michael Porter play good, the Nuggets win. That's the formula. When those two play good, the Nuggets win. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter's played good over the past few games. Jamal Murray's not come with him, and it's really, really clearly shown. It's just bad. Another thing with Michael Malone. I talked about his rotations. This is another part of it. He essentially benched Michael Porter Jr. against the Nets. And I didn't watch when Michael Porter Jr. was hot. I didn't watch the third quarter when, you know, everybody was bad. And I think Michael Porter Jr. might have been the worst defensively. But, like, has he not earned the trust to go the distance at this point? Like, even today, he left Michael Porter out, like, on the bench for far too long. I want to see what's his minutes right now. His minutes, he only had 23 minutes against the Nets. 23 minutes and he had 23 points. He had 33 today, least amount. That's less than Aaron Gordon, less than Jokic. Murray had 40. Like, why is Murray playing 40 minutes on the road? Why is he playing 40? He played the entire second half. Like, what are you doing? That is a complete mismanagement of your talent. Complete mismanagement of your talent. It's ridiculous. Only 23 minutes against the Nets. He only played like 20 against the Spurs because he got ejected. Against the Bulls, he only played 24 against the Spurs. It's ridiculous. And then against the Raptors, last game that they won, he had 32. Like, he's playing almost the least amount of minutes among these starters, and it's unbelievable. He led the team in scoring against Memphis in their last like good win. Led the team in scoring, and he only played 30 minutes. I don't understand why they're not letting him go more. He hasn't been hurt. The back has not flared up this season. He's clearly ready for more minutes. Jamal Murray has been out. He hasn't been playing. Michael Porter Jr. has been playing in back-to-backs the entire season. He's been playing back-to-backs the entire season. He was out for 11 games with that heel injury. Since then, he's back. He's playing back-to-backs. Jamal Murray's been missing. He missed back-to-backs at the beginning of the season. He was out for 3 weeks with knee soreness. He had knee soreness again today and on Sunday. And you're playing him 40 minutes? And you're staggering him with the bench and you're letting him have all this strain in his legs? What the hell are you doing? This isn't even me as a Nuggets fan speak. This is me as a basketball fan. This is unbelievable mismanagement of your talent. Ridiculous. Michael Malone, this happened in 2020 as well. Torrey Craig and Juancho Hernangomez would consistently play over Michael Porter, even though Michael Porter proven he is good. And I have learned not to question Malone's management of young talent because it clearly works. These guys come out better for it. But there has to be a better way for this. Like, I understand giving veterans a longer leash than youngsters. I get that. I understand, not playing a player because he's having a bad defensive game. But this guy is their third highest paid player. He's your third highest paid player. And you're benching him in games because of bad defense? No. That's not how it works. That shouldn't be how it works. As a rookie, fine. Even though he's better than someone, fine. He's a rookie. Still got to pay his dues. He's in his 4th year now. He's in his 4th year. He's not a rookie anymore. He's proven that he has the ability to handle this load. And you're not letting him do it, and you're not letting him get a rhythm. And he said it after the game on Sunday. He was like, they asked him, some reporter asked him a question about getting in a rhythm, and he was like, I mean, coach benched me the entire 4th quarter. I don't know how I'm supposed to get a rhythm. Exactly. How is a shooter supposed to get a rhythm if you're not going to trust him in these big moments? And I think, a guy on Twitter who I like a lot, CT, he was like, he said, I think at some point it might come down to the Nuggets choosing Michael Porter or Michael Malone. And at this point, the way Michael Malone is managing this talent, they might have to choose Michael Porter over Michael Malone. And if it comes to that, I would probably choose Michael Porter over Michael Malone right now. It's what the Denver has done over the last 3 games are not 3 last 4 games, last 5 games, going back to the Raptors, is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. They have to be better. Michael Malone himself has to be better. You're not surrounding, like he said after the game against Brooklyn, he was like, looking for players to play defense. Our last 3 games, our defense has been bad. Dude, you're putting Jeff Green and Reggie Jackson out there. Putting Jeff Green and Jamal Murray out there together against Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam. Your scheme is willingly switching Pascal Siakam onto Jamal Murray and Christian Brown, putting an all-NBA player on the guy onto a rookie who he's got 3 inches and 30 pounds on Jamal Murray, who's coming off of a knee injury and he's got 4 inches on. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I don't get it. I really do not understand what Mike Malone's been doing over the past couple games. Sometimes teams will purposefully play a different way, so there's not film on them in the playoffs. This is not that. This is not that. When Denver played the Clippers and they won in overtime, the Clippers did this. They played small, and Denver really, really struggled. They fronted Jokic with Nicholas Batum, and they really, really struggled. And then they went away from it because they didn't want a lot of film like that on tape in case Denver played the Clippers in the postseason. They knew, okay, this can work. We're going to make the playoffs. We'll be fine. If we lose this game, it's whatever. We know this works, so we're not going to use it too much in this game. And Denver abused it when it didn't go to it. Every single team now that they've played has done that. Toronto, they've fronted him with OG Anunoby, and they have Jakob Poeltl on the backside to help. It's worked to perfection. Denver can't do a dang thing. They can't get the ball to Jokic. Jokic is doing his best to get open. He's not able to get past the front. The offense stalls, and you get a horrible shot. That's what the offense is coming to. Is coming to right now. It's ridiculously bad, horrendously bad. That's what San Antonio did. San Antonio, they front them. Brooklyn did it perfectly. You front him with Dorian Finney-Smith. You have Nicholas Claxton on the backside, one of the best shot blockers in the league, and you have a guy with length who fronts it. You can't get the ball in. Denver's weakness is incredibly apparent. Play small, play with length, bother point of attack. Don't let Jokic get the ball. Live with the results. If he gets the ball, double immediately. Do not let him score and clog the passing lanes with your length. It's why Orlando's always been a tough matchup. It's why Brooklyn was a tough matchup. It's why Toronto's a tough matchup. And if they play a team that can play small with good defenders, like Golden State in the first round, if they play like this, they're going to get swept. I don't care how bad Golden State is on the road. They're going to get swept because they cannot figure it out. I don't know if Malone is purposefully not doing it because he doesn't want the film on the playoffs, or, he's just waiting for, something to just magically click in the players' minds. It's bad. This is really, really bad. No adjustments have been made because of this. No adjustments have been made. I mean, it is just such a poor, such a poor showing. Such a poor showing. I have no clue what else to say about it. It's ridiculous. If a team plays small and just fronts Jokic, Denver has nobody who can make a proper entry pass. They have nobody who can make a play off the ball outside of that. If Jamal Murray's playing like this, they're screwed. If he's still playing on one leg, they're screwed because he's not able to make a play. He's not able to create separation. Looks like he did at the beginning of the year when he was still knocking off the rust. And I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. I want to see what's Jamal Murray shooting in his past 10 games from three. 35% from three in his past 10, but in this 4-game losing streak, it's been horrible. It's been horrible. He started good. Memphis, he was good. 4 of 8 from three. Toronto, the first game against Toronto, he was good. 5 of 10. But since 1 of 12, 2 of 8, 5 of 12, 1 of 8. Bad all around. And shooting percentages from the field have been just as bad. 5 of 18 today, 5 of 19 against Brooklyn, 9 of 21 against San Antonio, 4 of 15 against Chicago. Jamal, he's got to take a break. He's been horrendous lately. He's been horrendous. And he was really like, again, oh my goodness. Just a tough stretch of games for Denver. And it's against poor team, which, brings me back to when they were playing in 2020. They would have these just ridiculously poor showings against bad teams. And it just made absolutely no sense because they would play great against the good teams. Like, I want to see what Denver looks like. Their next game is against, let's see their next game against. It's on the road. They're in the middle of a 5-game road trip. This is the first game. Next game against the Pistons on the road in Detroit. I legitimately believe, wholeheartedly believe that the Pistons are going to win that game. I believe the Pistons are going to win that game because Denver, they're not playing with confidence. They're not playing with pace. They're not playing with, aggressiveness on either end. And if they keep playing like this, they're going to lose to the Pistons. Like that. That's just how it goes. And then they have a back-to-back, both early games, Saturday, Sunday against the Knicks and against the Nets. The Nets, one of those teams that plays small and that can front Jokic and can shoot the three and can spread the floor out. We'll see if they make any adjustment then. That'll probably be the next time we do a recording after that game. That'll be the next, oh, Lord. Horrendous showing from Denver over the past week. Really, really bad. Really, really, really bad. I hope this isn't, I hope this isn't them falling apart going into the, they don't stumble into keeping the 1 seed going into the playoffs and they face Golden State or the Lakers or somebody in the first round and then, they lose in 6 in the first round as the 1 seed because the way that it's looking, that's going to happen. And losing in 6 is generous. They're going to get swept if they play like this against a playoff team. Like they're not even playing playoff team. Raptors, Bulls, Spurs, those aren't playoff teams. Toronto is the 9 seed right now, and they're 1 game away from being out of the play-in. Chicago is out of the play-in right now. San Antonio is eliminated from the playoffs already. They're the 14th best team in the NBA. They're in the Western Conference. The next good team they play is New York. Then that's on Saturday. I'm very anxious to see how they play against them. And Denver did lose to New York last time that these two teams played. Jokic didn't play, and I believe Aaron Gordon didn't play as well. So the starting lineup had Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan, and so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But New York's playing good ball right now. And if Jalen Brunson's back, that point of attack defense is going to be really, really key to watch. Because this has just been horrendous. Denver's just got to be better. Like I can't even start with normally when you talk about Denver's playing really bad, it's because the bench has sucked. It's because the starting lineup gives them a 15-point lead, the bench gives it up in 5 minutes. That's not even what it's the starters. The starters have been horrible the last 3 games. They've been horrible. And it starts with a defensive effort. Just no defensive effort. I think that Denver, even against Toronto the first game, they got complacent and they picked it up in the clutch. And I just think they got complacent against Chicago. They got complacent against San Antonio. it hit them against Brooklyn like, oh God, we gotta pick it up. And they picked it up in the fourth quarter. It was too little, too late. Same thing happened in this game. I think they came out like, okay, we'll be fine. Just come out, play our game. They played their game and they got abused. They got 49 points they let up in the first quarter. So, man, Denver's got to be. They got to figure it out, because if they don't figure this out, it's going to be tough. They got 14 games left in the season, right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 games left in the season. The way they're playing right now, I don't trust them to win any of these games. Any of those games, I don't trust them to win. They end the season Kings, Jazz, Suns, Rockets, Warriors. Those are their 5 games in April. And 3 of those games are on the road. This is bad. This is really, really bad. Yeah. As of right now, they would be scheduled to play Dallas, but LA is going to win, so LA is going to jump into the 8th seed. If they play the Lakers, they're screwed. They're absolutely screwed. LA is a very good paint team, and Denver's paint defense and point of attack defense has been horrendous. They're gonna lose that series. Those are just my thoughts. I think I'm going to end it there before I say some stuff I'll probably regret. So let me just do some more. Look, Thunder, they play the Nets at home. Thunder are beating the Nets by 14 in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. It's because they're taking them serious. I just, oh my goodness. Well, it's also good. Dorian Finney-Smith 1 of 5 from 3 against the Nets, or against the Thunder, and he was 5 of 7 from 3 against Denver. They've gotten hit with some awful shooting variants lately too, like like horrible teams shooting great against them. That's also part of it. Like Toronto's 18th in 3-point percentage, and they went 12 of 30. That's 40%. Denver is first in 3-point percentage, and they went 6 of 25. So, like, certain things, like they're just in a slump shooting wise. KCP's in a huge slump. Jamal obviously in a huge slump. So just bad play all around. Hopefully they'll figure it out, but I honestly don't. I don't have any hope that they will. I truly don't. I truly don't. Like this is as bad as I've ever seen them play. Jamal Murray was a -20. He was -28 in the first half. It's just really bad. Not a single positive plus minus on the team. Bad. So I'll end there. Talk about the Nuggets. Bucks Kings last night was a really, really good game. Bucks, I think, have the best. I think they're the best team in the NBA right now. They got the best record in the NBA. And honestly, I think if the season ended today, I would Giannis would probably get a decent chunk of first place votes away from Jokic with the way that he's been playing and with how good Milwaukee is. They're good without him. They have a good record without Giannis. But when Giannis is in the lineup, the last 24 games with Giannis, they're 22-2. And his first game back from injury, he puts up 46-12 and has the punctuating plays to win the game against a really good home team in Sacramento and a really good team in general in Sacramento. So yeah, Milwaukee's really good. They're really, really good. I would probably pick them to win the title right now. Denver's not playing like a title contender. I'm definitely not picking them. Philly's been playing really, really well as of late. Boston's been struggling. They lost to Houston last night. Milwaukee looks like the only true contender. I want to see how Philly plays Milwaukee. I don't know if they play each other another game. Boston and Milwaukee play. Okay. Oh God, that's a tough stretch. Milwaukee plays the 76ers and Boston in back-to-back games. Those are probably the last like real games that they play, because then they go. They'll probably, I don't know, at that point, the 1 seed or 2 seed will probably be locked up. So then it goes Wizards, Bulls, Grizzlies, Raptors. So those who I want to see how Milwaukee plays against Philly, or actually, I want to see Boston play against Philly, because Milwaukee has played Philly already, and Philly was a team that ended their win streak. And they played really, really well. So I want to see if Boston and Philly play again this season, because they are in the same division. They do. April 4th. Once again, that'll probably be the last true game that both of those teams play, because their seedings will probably be locked up at that point. Because I think Philly matches up really well against Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee matches up really good against Boston. Just need to see how good Boston matches up against Philly, because those are 3 contenders right now in the East, with I think Cleveland probably as a distant 4th place. I think they're a dark horse team. I think they could, potentially make the conference finals if they catch they're a great defensive team. So if they put together a defensive clinic, they could definitely get to the conference finals. But those 3 teams are probably the teams I'm most worried about in the East. If I'm a Bucks, Celtics, or a 76ers fan, I'm worried about the other 2 teams. So yeah. Eastern Conference, right now I'd say the East is probably going to win the championship. I would take, even with the Suns when they're fully healthy, like KD being injured really sucks, but KD being injured really sucks. So that'll be interesting to see how Phoenix looks in the playoffs. But as of right now, I would take Milwaukee to win the championship over the field. All right, I'm really hungry, so I'm going to end this episode here. We'll try and get something done on Sunday. Talk about from free agency stuff. There's a lot of huge stuff going down. I think the Aaron Rodgers decision will be finalized by then. Some more Broncos news hopefully will come in by then. So